What is going on, my family? Your boy Demetrius is back with another classic Virtua Fighter 6 video. So I'm gonna need y'all to come on in, hit the like, hit the subscribe button, hit that hype button, because y'all already know anything that concerns Virtua Fighter 6 is automatic hype. So I'm gonna need y'all to do that for me. And here, what we're gonna talk about here is basically some of the stage reveals when it comes to Virtua Fighter 6. A couple of stages, the images have been revealed when it comes to Virtua Fighter 6. And you know, I'm just gonna get on here and just talk about the stages, talk about how they look and the possibilities and the way that you could possibly use these stages when it comes to Virtua Fighter 6, because I kind of feel like it'll be a little bit similar to what we can do in Virtua Fighter 5 Revo. So that's what we're going to talk about in this video. Also too, there's also a couple of other news that I also want to discuss when it comes to this video. And there's also something I want to get off of my chest when it comes to the whole thing, when it comes to Virtua Fighter 6 and the time skip. I'm going to start with that first. Now, a lot of people are in this pretty much thought process that Virtua Fighter 6, the time skip is about 20 years. I was one of those people. I was like, okay, yeah, there is a time skip, but it's not exactly 20 years. And Yamada-san actually came out and kind of confirmed what I was saying, that the time skip is a little bit in between 10 and 20 years. So you could be like, okay, it's probably 13 to 15 years when it comes to the time skip. It's not necessarily 20 years. Y'all feel what I'm saying? And the reason that I'm bringing this up is because there's still this controversy and this thought process that Lao Chan and Shun Di are not going to return because of the time skip. Now, I don't know about Shun Di, but I can say this about my main character. Lao Chan was only in his late 50s at the end of Virtua Fighter 5. It's just his illness made him look older than he actually was. So there is still a good prayer of a chance that Lao Chan can come back into this game. A 15 to 20 year time jump is only going to have Lao probably in his early 70s. Lao is also 30 years younger than Shun Di was. Y'all feel what I'm saying? Shun Di was in his 80s. Okay, so that's the reason that I still feel like there is a prayer of a chance that Lao Chan can come back into this game, because he is significantly younger than Shun Di was. And also too, the time jump, he would probably only be in his early 70s. And like I said, Shun Di was an 80-year-old motherfucker still fighting in VF5. So it can still happen. It's not carved in stone that neither of these characters can return. But like I said, Shun Di, yeah, probably unrealistic for him to return. But when it comes to Lao Chan can still return despite the time jump. So now we're going to talk about the reveal stages when it comes to Virtua Fighter 6. As y'all can see on the screen here, the 6 stages so far that have been revealed when it comes to Virtua Fighter 6. And you know, I'm just going to briefly talk about these stages and what I think what we can do in these. You know, it's just going to be one of those, you know, I'm just going to kind of like, you know, throw ideas out there and, you know, and just see what happens when it comes to these stages. And hopefully, you know, during Evo, they may show gameplay footage of these stages in action, more gameplay footage when it comes to these stages being in action, so we can have a better idea, even though we already kind of know what's going on with a couple of these stages. So that's what we're going to talk about here. Like I said, these are the 6 stages, and you know, I'm just going to talk about it and rap about them one by one. So the first stage that I want to talk about is this stage right here. This stage is called the pit stage, and the reason why I wanted to talk about this stage first is because this stage is kind of interesting, because if y'all play Virtua Fighter 5 Revo or Virtua Fighter 5 in general, you know, we have the Nataku stages. When it comes to Virtua Fighter 5 Revo, you know, the rectangular stages where you really have to be on awareness. You really have to know where you are in that stage, because one hit can lead you to a wall combo, or one hit can lead you to a ring out, depending on how you're basically positioned when it comes to those type of stages. Y'all feel what I'm saying? Here in the pit stage, it's different. It doesn't look like it's going to be a ring out stage, but when it comes to this stage, it's kind of the same as the Nitaku stage, because you have to know where you are and the way the stage is leveled. If you're positioned in a certain type of way, you know, you can really get hit by the wall. You know what I'm saying? You really got to know where you are, and if something like that were to happen, you could possibly get wall comboed and stuff like that. So it's one of those stages, you really got to know where you are. You really got to know where your opponent is. You feel what I'm saying? Because, you know, you could get sidestepped and you can get in trouble like that because of the way the stage is. So this is one of those type of stages where it's a real test of awareness, much like the Nitaku stages of Virtua Fighter 5 Revo. So this is the reason why I feel like this stage is very interesting when it comes to Virtua Fighter 6. And we do know that these stages are going to be fighting stages because of the trailer. It showed the characters fighting in a couple of these stages. So we do know that for a fact. And like I said, the pit stage is going to be very interesting. Also, too, from a music standpoint, this stage looked like it's going to have some good guitar riffs in the fucking music. You feel what I'm saying? Just by the way it looks. But it looks like a very, very gritty type of stage. And like I said, I think it's going to be similar to the Nitaku stages when it comes to fighting in it and when it comes to awareness. You really got to know where you at. You really got to be precise in timing and all of those type of things, because if you're not, one hit can lead you to a wall, getting comboed, getting cornered, and you can get messed up. You can lose a lot of damage because of these type of stages. The next stage we're going to talk about is this stage here, and I am pretty confident that this is going to be an actual versus fighting stage in Virtua Fighter 6, just by how the way the stage looks. It also could be a location in the game story as well, but I am confident that this is going to be one of the fighting stages in Virtua Fighter 6. Now, we kind of got an idea of how this stage is going to go because it does look very similar to the stage that they showed in the trailer. It just looks like everything is abandoned in this stage. It looks like it's a wide stage with a closed in area where there's a lot of room to fight. And then if it comes down to it, if you meet the outskirts or the edges of the stage, you can use the walls and the interactivity to your advantage. And stages like this, I absolutely love these type of stages because, like I said, there's still space, but if it comes down to it, you can still use walls and stuff as interactivity, just like the stage that they showed in the trailer. So this might be one of my favorite stages here alongside of the stage that they shown. So like I said, it looks like a very wide but closed area where we can all move, you know, do our thing. Then of course, you know, if the match gets intense, we can still use that wall and the interactivity to our advantage for wall combos. So I'm really going to be looking forward to this stage or location when it comes to Virtua Fighter 6. And like I said, this may be one of my favorite stages if it's actually a fighting versus stage. The next stage slash location that we're going to talk about when it comes to Virtua Fighter 6 is this stage right here. Now, I got to be all the way real. I'm not sure if this is an actual fighting stage or just a location in the story, but from what I can see, it looks very suitable to be a fighting stage. The reason why I like the look of this stage because it looks very wide and spacious. You feel what I'm saying? Kind of almost like an infinite stage, although I'm pretty confident that Virtua Fighter 6 is not going to have infinite stages because, you know, the whole infinite stage thing is really played out at this point. So I'm pretty much confident that it's not going to be an infinite stage, but it looks like a stage that's just going to have a lot of space in it for us to fight in. Like I said, it just looks more suitable for an actual versus fighting stage than the actual location, but we'll see. But like I said, this is a type of stage right here. There's going to be a lot of space. You feel what I'm saying? And I still see some stuff in the background where there can be some, you know, interactive possibilities. So it's very exciting to see what happens when it comes to this. Like I said, I think this is actually a versus fighting stage more than it is a location, but hopefully we'll get more confirmation on that when it comes to Evo or future down the road. Now I'm going to talk about this area here. Now this area here is the area that, you know, a couple of years ago where they showed that trailer basically showing off the engine of Virtua Fighter 6. I think that's this area right here. So we pretty already know what's going to be happening when it comes to this area. You feel what I'm saying? You know, if you go back to that trailer that they showed a couple of years ago, the area had interactivity and all of that. You know, you can knock your opponent into some debris and stuff like that when it came to the street. So yeah, so this area here is clearly going to be a fighting stage, and you know, can't wait to see what's going on with it. This is not a very good screenshot of the area, but yeah, this is the same area that basically, you know, they made that trailer showcasing the fighting engine of Virtua Fighter 6. And like I said, this looks like an area that's going to be, you know, very populated area. You know what I'm saying? It's probably going to be people walking around it and stuff like that. Clearly going to be interactive because that's what they showed when it comes to the area. So like I said, when it comes to these locations and fighting stages, it looks like there's going to be a lot going on, a lot of interactivity with them. And like I said, most of them, I think they're going to be versus stages, and I think they're going to show more come Evo. You feel what I'm saying? And I can't wait to see. But I just wanted to come on here and just talk about these stages and locations. Like I said, I'm not sure if they're all fighting stages or locations when it comes to the story, but if they are fighting stages, they look really fun to fight on. You feel what I'm saying? So let me know what y'all think in the comment section below about these locations when it comes to Virtua Fighter 6. What's your favorite location? What ideas do you have when it comes to these locations, and what are your thoughts about them? Y'all know, put y'all thoughts and y'all feelings in the comment section below. We could definitely get a conversation started. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe to your boy for the hottest Virtua Fighter content on the internet, period. As I keep on saying, I'm still the top dog when it comes to this Virtua Fighter shit and the content on the internet, and that's facts, whether people like it or not. My name is Demetrius. I'll get back at you in the next video. God bless, stay safe. I am out. Peace.